thank you so much for being here with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So Luna, I want to start by talking about what exactly does your company do?
So at Genesis Bio, we take organic waste, all kinds of forms, food waste or industrial waste, and we convert that into compostable plastics.
Very cool. How did you get the idea for this?
So back during my master's program in University of Toronto, I had a chance to visit a biogas facility where they convert food waste into biogas. And then very quickly I realized that throughout the entire process, there's these really great carbons that you can get from food waste that can also be fed to much more efficient bacteria to make higher value products instead. And that's how we started.
So were you nervous about taking the leap into entrepreneurship at first, or how did that come about for you?
Not really, actually. So back in university, I had a chance to co-found 2 software companies, and it was there that I learned a lot about how to build a business. And I always knew that I wanted to found a company ever since graduation, so I went for it.
Very cool. Who are your customers? Tell me a little bit about who you're making this for.
Absolutely. So traditionally, our customers has been B2B customers. So large CPG brands like Novo Nordisk and Unilever. But this year, we're actually planning to launch our own products directly to consumers. So it'll be really exciting to see that.
What type of products?
In the food and beverage space, as well as in the cosmetic space with PHAs.
Very cool. That's awesome. And who do you see as your biggest competitors, and how are you standing out from them?
So our biggest competitors are other people who also make compostable plastics like PLA or seaweed-based ones, right? Now, I think that there's actually a really great space for everyone, and the PHAs, the plastic that we make, is called PHAs, which stands for polyhydroxyalkanoids. What's really special about them is that they're a thermoplastic that can be formed, let's say, by injection molding or blow molding, and it can also degrade in nature within less than 12 months. So I think that's the sweet space that PHAs really do well in.
So do other plastics or bioplastics then not degrade, or how is it different?
Good question. So usually other bioplastics usually degrade really fast, but they can't be injection molded or blow molded very easily. Or they degrade over a longer period of time and they can be injection molded and blow molded. PHA is one of the only plastics that can sort of do both.
Gotcha. So talk to me about your fundraising journey. How'd you get to where you are today?
So I think we're really lucky to have a lot of great investors backing us. So for example, Series A we raised last year with Kozla Ventures leading the round, and then earlier this year we had Amazon Pledge Fund co-lead our Series A extension. And we're also backed by Y Combinator, so just really, really great to be connected with all these amazing people.
What's your total funding right now?
We have raised roughly $17 million to date, and then we also have roughly $15 million of grant funding.
Fantastic. And I want to get a sense of the scale of your company. Can you talk to me a bit about either customers or sales or anything like that that'll help me understand?
Absolutely. So this year we have roughly around $5 million in revenues, plus around $10 million in purchase orders and additional deals that we have signed. In terms of the impact that we can have, we really do think that next year is going to be a big year for us, because beyond just the B2B sales, we will be launching those products direct to consumers. And that's where we do believe that we can do a lot more better job in terms of marketing it and bringing about a new type of plastic to the world. Yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging part of running your company?
So I'd say the most challenging thing that we have running this company is figuring out where are all the top players in the world in terms of various aspects that's relevant to our business, and bringing them on board so that we can build a great thing together. It's oftentimes really difficult to find talent being in Canada originally, and that's why this year we're actually looking to expand our operations into the US and hopefully being able to tap into greater talent hubs.
When you say expand to the US, are you doing new manufacturing plants, or how are you looking at the expansion?
Yeah, so we're really thinking that we would start in the basic lab research in Boston specifically, and then also being able to partner up with really great people in Los Angeles, for example, influencers, etc., that I'm really hoping to actually meet throughout this conference.
Very cool. How would partnering with creators and influencers help your brand?
So we really look up to brands like Impossible Foods, who's really done an amazing job in the past by bringing about plant-based meats to the world, right? And we do believe that if we can get the top influencers in the world, we can help build a great brand and also tell a great story that people can relate to in the plastic space.
Now, I love that you're based in Canada. Can you talk to me about how being based there has helped your business and then both hurt the business a bit?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest benefit of being in Canada is the access to grant funding, as well as really great patient capital. I think that's really helped us do the initial couple of years of research and R&D to get to where we are today. In terms of limitations-wise, it's pretty much just talent, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we do think that by being so close to the U.S., we can essentially have the best of both worlds by having two offices. Yeah.
A lot of companies today, and especially a lot of startups, are looking at ESG and looking at, the climate crisis and doing things, I think, to kind of just like tick a box and say, okay, we're helping the environment. But how are you thinking about sustainability, since it's obviously at the forefront of your brand? And is there a personal mission that you're motivated by?
Absolutely. So sustainability is core to every single person inside this company.
Yeah.
For me personally, I actually grew up in China, in one of the most polluted cities. So growing up, I saw a bunch of pollution, smog everywhere. So I thought we need to be able to do something to really help alleviate that.
Interesting. And how are you working to do that now?
Well, so with our technology, we basically take organic waste feedstocks that would otherwise go into landfills. And in the landfills, they actually release roughly 7% of greenhouse gas emissions as they degrade, right? And so by essentially diverting that stream away from landfills and converting that into compostable plastics, we can essentially offset a huge amount of carbon emissions.
Very cool. Now, would you ever consider selling your company? And if so, what would it take?
Wow, I haven't actually considered selling my company yet. So ideally, we like to go IPO one day. Yeah.
Very cool. Are there any big goals or dreams that you think of, and they can be as lofty as possible?
Well, I think the biggest goal for us is just to see our products used in every single person's homes, right? Whether it be like spoons and knives and cutlery, but also to really great products that people can take on a daily basis and adds further value and functionality.
Is there one business rule that you always operate by, no matter what?
I think the one business rule that we always like to operate by is just doing the right thing, no matter how hard it is. Sometimes it's a lot more actually easier to do the wrong thing and get by, or tell a good story and just get on with the day. But a lot of times it's actually harder to do the right thing. So yeah, as much as possible doing that. Yeah.
If you could go back in time and tell yourself one piece of advice the day before you launched your company, what would it be?
I think if I were to go back in time, the biggest advice I give to myself is learn how to fail fast. Learn how to basically experiment on ideas and figure out what the most riskiest element is to that. De-risk it first, and if it doesn't work, then move on and then basically adjust course. Yeah.
So what's it like to be A, such a young founder, and B, a woman in a very male-dominated, science-heavy space?
I think it's actually a privilege, to be honest, that I think because of who we are, like we actually really stand out in the industry.
Yeah.
And a lot of times maybe it's a negative, but we like to see the positive side of things and really use it to our advantage. So for example, when our company was first founded back in 2018, we actually won some great women founder-focused pitch competitions. And that was sort of an exclusive access that only we had access to. So just really being able to capitalize on that, I think.
Very cool. If you want, these products in everyone's homes, how do you get people to care specifically about you and what you're doing?
So I think the key is to really offer something that no other product can offer, right? Whether that's functionality based, where let's say PHAs are hydrophobic, so that means that they repel water. It's a great, let's say, fabric material, right? Or that PHAs can be really great for drug delivery in the future, right? And that no other bioplastics can do that. So being able to really do something that no other bioplastic can do, I think would be the number one thing that makes people care, and how it relates to them as well. The other thing that's great about PHAs is that PHAs is actually the fat of bacteria, and you make PHAs within your body, which means that PHAs are super biocompatible, and it doesn't cause any issues when it's used in your body within or without, right? So being able to really find niche fits of where that's really great for human health would be great. Because one other thing that I'll share is that on a weekly basis, you and I actually consume roughly 5 grams, which is a credit card worth of plastics every single week, right? So if that could be made using PHAs, it's much more inert, your body can actually digest it and metabolize it, then it's a lot more better for human health.
And what would you like your legacy to be?
I don't actually think too much about my legacy. We really just want to make the biggest impact that we can in the world. So being able to have products really just in every corner of everyone's lives, that's, I think, the biggest thing that would make us really happy.
Very cool. Well, you've taught me so much today, Luna. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.